Hello. This is uncomfortable. So Brittany wanted a tutorial and I figured I would give you one while I'm making this plague series. So here is my livestock in death of livestock disease interpretation, but it's just gonna be mostly a beauty makeup until the end. So my skin is clean and it's moisturized and I'm trying to get in there. That's what it looks like. So I always start with the eyes first, like the upper lid, because sometimes your shadow can fall down and I don't know, it's just habit. So I use Painterly, the paint pot, for a base. I put it on with my finger and I just put it all over my lid right there. I usually start out most of my eyes the same, just because I like having a strong foundation and a good base for my eye makeup. So grab onto your favorite brush, which is your MAC 217 if you're me, and then get this fat stack of Z palettes. I've been using this Inglot shadow right here, boop, as my lid color most often these days. I like this brush because it's fluffy enough that it disperses everything really evenly and nicely, but it's stiff enough that you get a lot of product onto the area, the intended area. So do that. I don't really have a clear idea of what this eye is gonna look like, which is the wrong way to start something, but let's just give it a go and see what happens. So I had a couple different ideas of what I could do, and I think I want to do the darker and darker and then light in the middle but subtle. So I'm going to be sticking with these colors in this range. I want to keep everything in sort of a brownie zone. I think what I'm using right now is Saddle, and I'm sort of mixing these two back and forth a little bit. And then I'm just gonna go, I always go back and forth and then do a little bit of a longer streak and then kind of blend it up a little bit. Oh my god, it's gonna be so terrible to edit and to hear the words that come out of my face. So I'm really just pressing into, focus up camera, you can do it, I believe in you. I'm really pressing into the natural crease of my eye to make it darker in that area. And I'm using the exact same brush that I put that light shadow on in the beginning. Same thing in the other eye. And I'm sort of bringing it onto the lid a little bit too, right in the corner there, where it's out of focus the way that we like it to be. I do this little back and forth one where I want it to be darkest and then just keep going over the shape. You can be a lot more aggressive with your application than I think a lot of people feel. A lot of people are very timid. Now you can just wail on it and just really get weird, get intense. So just sort of going back and forth, darkening it the way I like. So I want it a little bit darker than it is now. I think I'm gonna try this Inglot one. It's kind of a nice, really neutral shade, which is what I'm looking for. Then I'm gonna bring this one down onto the lid a little bit in the corner. Is there a way? Ooh, how about that? Just hunch down. How you like that? Huh? Check it out. That bushy old brow. Alright, back in that Inglot one. I'm sort of brushing it along the lash line. See, the reason I like to do this first is because I'm just making a big mess all under there, which I have heard is the mark of a lazy makeup artist, but I like to just blend it until my heart is happy. Alright, so that's pretty good. Let's go a little bit darker. Let's pick up a darker color. Still just using the same little one. So I think a lot of the basis of the series of makeup that I'm going to be doing is going to be focusing really heavily on clean skin, which I don't have the best skin in the world. I got a lot of redness, got a lot of texture, got freckles, got all that fun jazz. Made a little dot right there. I'm just going to wipe that away, pretend that that didn't exist. And I really like the shape that I'm getting right here just by blending and layering it. This one is a little bit less great. Alright, so then what I'm going to do is I am going to take another 217. This one's kind of destroyed and sad. And that's going to be my blending brush. I'm going to start with that. I mean, they're all my blending brush, but I like to have a million of the 217 because it's super useful. So I'm just taking the color that we started with and I'm just going around the edges and softening everything. Okay. And I'm going to go back to that original brush that has product on it, that dirty brush, and I'm just going to pull this out a little bit more. Alright, that looks about what I'm trying to do here. So then, can move on to alright, well, clean up under here however your heart tells you, which should probably be a wipe or a makeup remover of some kind. Then I'm going to start to prep my skin. I'm using the Hourglass hydrating primer. I have a little sample of it here, and I'm just gonna keep using that. My hands are pretty clean, so your hands should be totally clean. Not pretty clean. And I'm just gonna rub it in with my hands because I feel like it. I tend to get dry right around my nose area, probably because I need to moisturize it more. So that's where I put most of the primer. Oh, look at that sweet hydration. So hydrated. Amazing. Magnificent. Okay, so for foundation, I'm using the Lancome Tint Idol 160, which is my favorite foundation, like freaking ever. And I'm going to blend it with my beauty blender. This one I already got wet and I squeezed all the water out of it, so she's very squishy. And I'm just going to use my finger again, just wash my hands. I'm just going to boop, 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 dot some of that in there. Just get a little bit. And then I'm just going to start with that and start to smoosh it into my skin. The skin for this look is like the most important thing, so we're going to spend a long time with it. Then I'm just going to start dipping my blender, which is now nice and covered in foundation, the way we like, into my foundation. I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to do it. Probably isn't. It's probably wasteful, but I'm going to do it anyways because I like it. I'm going to use a little tippy part. Get involved in there. God, this foundation is just like so great, right? That's sweet, sweet jazz. And I like to kind of just go around my lip line because whatever lip I do, this sort of helps prime them a little bit, in my opinion. Look at that eyeball moving around. Isn't that cool? Oh, I have so much to learn about the ways that you're supposed to do this. Videos. Alright. So, my skin is always darker on my face than it is on my neck. It's just like the way of my life. And because this is just for still photography right now, I don't really mind, but if I was going out, this would be a problem. So, just so we know, that's not the way you're supposed to have it look. It's good. Darker. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use this concealer in NW15, which I really like. I love it smoothed out over a lot of the face. I'm going to use it to sort of highlight my face a little bit and cover under eye. This is my favorite concealer brush. Do I look cross-eyed right now? Probably. It's a Crown Brushes brush, and it's synthetic and it's super fluffy, and I really like it for, I've done foundation with this whole thing. I do concealer after I do foundation because you can, and I'd rather see where I need it rather than just like put it wherever I think I need it. So I'm gonna use this guy. I'm sort of using the camera's thing to do this, so instead of like this mirror that I have right here, because it's the smart way to do it, I guess. It's not. It's the joke. I'm putting a little more concealer up here to just like highlight. Do a little nose action, a little up here. You know the way. We've all been on Instagram. We've all seen. And I'm gonna pop a little bit on my Cupid's bow too. Don't I look like Instagram? Yeah, I do. Look amazing. So that's all that shit in action that there's surely 8 billion tutorials for. Blend that over in there. I have these nice bags under my eyes that like to exist. See if there's anything else that needs concealing. Things look a little janky right there. That's not blended. Just go back in with this dirty dog. And I have a little concealer left over, so I'm just gonna put some on there. See where this takes me. I just love the way it looks sheared out on the skin. I think it looks really good. So you can do a lot for your skin's tone, but as far as texture goes, it sort of is what it is. So then what I am going to do is use my powder, which is missing. Jesus Christ. Okay, so the powder I like to use is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Light. I like to use it with this little Select Sheer puff because I like heavy ass powder. I always start under my eyes and just sort of pat it on and move it around. See where that goes? You can just put powder like the places you need it, like under your eyes or like, you know, and leave your cheeks dewy and whatever. But the look that I'm going for here, alright, that's a cool technique. Just purse your lips like, go over them with powder. Nice little gross lines, which is what we're going for. Okay, so next Next I'm going to use my new obsession, this bad boy, this Hourglass Ambient Light Powders. Woo! Oh my god, so beautiful. I'm going to use that concealer-y brushy friend again and grab the light one. Get a little Cupid's bow action. I kind of like hop around when I do makeup, so a lot of different things happen at different times. I'm going to use this guy. Just use this mirror right in here. Using the middle one right now. Getting a little under eye love. Just like reflects the light and is the prettiest thing that you've ever wanted in your life. Nose. Up in here. Your forehead zone. Chin zone. Kind of just following where I went with the concealer. Looking right. Looking right. For my cheek, I am going to use Nars Laguna. Laguna is just my jam, man. Got this little duo. I like to go, when I do cheeks, I use this brush, and I go like this, up and down. Boop, 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 but super fast. Which kind of brings, it like blends the contour out a little bit. Which go in all directions that your heart tells you. Kind of looks bananas on that screen, but not as intense in real life. This is kind of more of an effects makeup rather than just straight beauty, so you can sort of do whatever you want. Also, any kind of makeup can be anything you want, so you can just do whatever you want. And I don't like it when people are like, oh, if you have like brown eyes, you should wear this color makeup, or if you have this, you should do that. Like, do whatever you want. Like, what is the point of it otherwise? Riddle you this, me. Riddle. So I got this super fun Nars Contour bad boy for my kit for some of those darker skin ladies. I'm going to use this little light dog, put it on really light, and I always tap my shadows or my powders after I use them to get like excess off your brush. Sorry if I'm being too thorough. I'm trying to do a good job. And I'm going to do a little of that fun nose contour we all like. I'm like barely touching my skin right now. Just like, ooh, super, because I don't want to go too orangey, even though we are doing like the brown orangey time. Look at that nose. Go down. Have a wee little nose. Alright. There we go. This little man, okay, it really wants to follow me. It's just like a short little brush, and take a little bit of that, and I'm just gonna go right in there. Don't I look fancy? Then popping back to this palette, this brush, fluffy, just sort of blend that in. You might not believe me, but the cheek does not look that intense from where I'm at, so we're going to pump it up a little bit. I'm going to use Warm Soul. It's one of my favorite blushes. This is the old school version. The way they make it now is a little different, a little less awesome. Wow, that looks crazy in there, but like not crazy in real life. I love it because it has the shimmer in it. That's like a little bit of a highlighty action. Okay, so now we're going back to the eyes. I'm going to use Shroom. It's like my favorite. My favorite angel eyeshadow. I love it. And I'm going to use that for my highlight. If I can find it. There it is. For those of you who have not been obsessively talking about it for days, it looks like that one right there. Boop, boop. It's like a champagne-y kind of deal. And I go in the inner corner. And just like going in there. I like to start with my brush flat like that to get the most intense highlight closest to the brow, and then I rotate it so that I can just sort of blend it in like that. Does that make any sense? You know, I start with it like flat, and then I move it this way. And I think I'm going to pop a little right in the middle of the lid too, which I'm going out of frame to do. I'm sorry. Oh, this one has it, this one doesn't. Huge difference, I know. Okay, so I haven't really decided what I'm doing for the underneath of my eyes. Wow, my brows look bananas. But I want to look a bit sick for this one. So my face doesn't look so crazy. It looks way darker. It does not look that crazy in life, I promise. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab one of the shadows we used already on the eye. This one I'm going to go with. I'm just going to use the same brush. And I'm going to go sort of in that, see that like eye bag zone right there? I'm going to kind of accentuate that, which is usually the opposite of what you want to do. Oh god, I just like got into this mirror. Sweet, sweet sounds of Los Angeles. I'm just kind of blending it into that corner. Most of the pictures I'm going to take, I'm not going to be like this. I'm going to be like this. Look at that eye bag. So nice. Same thing over here. It doesn't really look quite as intense enough for me, so I'm switching to a slightly darker brown. That's kind of more what I'm going for. And I'm just sort of pulling the shadow down a little bit to blend it. It's falling down. I'm using a full-length mirror for this because this is a bootleg ass situation we're doing here. So then I'm going to take a little small one again. I sort of cleaned off a bit. And take another like light color. And I'm going to kind of go right under the lashes. How that looks. I mean, maybe. We'll see. And right here needs to be blended out a little bit more. So I'm going to take that original brush that we used. And I'm going to also blend down here. Yeah, that's like what I'm going for. And I'm going to bring the brown down a little bit, which is like hilarious because we hid my bags, sort of, as much as one can hide such things. And then we're bringing it back. That's the whole way. Erase your features, draw them back on. So I'm not feeling quite as paled out as I would like to be. One of the most useful products I've ever bought is this MAC Studio Fix Powder, which is one of their foundations. But it's white! It's called Shivering White, and it's the business. I'm going to take another one of these, clean one. Get some, a little bit, tap, the old tap tap, and hit the high points of my face. Because the idea here really is a bit sick. Hit my lips again. Does that look good? You like that? Yeah, this is going to be fun to edit. Not embarrassing at all. Okay, so now I'm going to do eyebrows. I have been all about this brow gel. It's a MAC one. And brow gel is like the thing right now. It's everyone's business. Everyone's about it. It's totally good. This is my favorite brush. It's the, for eyebrows, this is MAC 265. God. Totally out of. I go in the direction of the hairs. So there's one that I did. I'm brushing the hair up because I want it to be a little more animal looking. Sorry, Brittany, this is the opposite of that Taylor Swift look. I like the MAC False Lash one. Yeah, it's just fine. It's like useless. I mean, you know how to put on mascara. Disease livestock look. Hope you like it. This is not the Taylor Swift tutorial. I'm sorry. Sorry I failed you. I love you anyways. Yeah.